Hello, hello, welcome. So good to see so many faces. If you feel comfortable to turn your video on, it's always great to connect in this way. I love it. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, my amazing light Ray. Good to see you. And Bridget and Eric. Oh, good to see you. Good to see you. Emmy. Hello. Hey, Jane. Good to see that beautiful smile. And oh wow, I am so honored. I am so inspired. Um, I have to say I am really glad it is time because all day I've been looking forward to this. It's like, is it time yet? So good to see everybody. I see we've got some awesome masters with us. Welcome, welcome. It looks like you guys are ready to move. I love that. Um, and John's with us tonight. Hey, Amanda, good to see you. So, letting everyone make their way on and arrive. I will say for those of you that are looking for some movement tonight, I will share a little bit of movement tonight. But tonight I'm also going to just be sharing from my heart, wanting to give everybody an opportunity to ask questions. If you have curiosities about the eight treasures, about Tai Chi in general, really, I'm an open book. I love sharing, and it is something I've been doing for my entire life. I have been in the seat of a teacher for as far back as I can remember, and the role keeps evolving. The role keeps evolving, and I feel the reason I love to teach is because I love to learn. I just am so hungry for new information. Any way that I can evolve, any way that I can contribute, I'm game. So here we go. Welcome. I want to begin first by just introducing myself. My name's Nina Crist. Ray and I run the Jaguar Path, and we teach. Really, we teach from our experience of what's touched our lives. At a really young age, I kind of stumbled upon some of my mother's books. Anyone else go into their parents' things and say like, what's this? And I was so intrigued by some of the ancient wisdom that I connected with that she was reading up on as she was putting herself through medical school. She became a doctor, and she always had this way of saying like, there's the Western medicine, and then there's this mysticism, there's this magic, there's the ability to heal. And so when I want to say I was around 12 years old, I kind of heard my mom talking about the ability to heal with your hands. I just remember being like, is that possible? Can that be? And is there a way to like develop that skill? Because I just was really intrigued by it. Fast forward a little bit, I ended up becoming a student in the martial arts at the age of 17. I began practicing styles of martial arts ranging from combat and like intense movement of self-defense and healing. And I'll be honest, at 17, I was really loving athletics. I connected with any movement I could. I was on awesome teams, got a chance to move my body and harmonize my energy with really high level women athletes around the world. One of my like highlights in college was my roommate was on the Finland national soccer team, and she was playing against Mia Hamm. So anyone that like anywhere in that range of knowing, it was just like, this is so cool. And I remember being on a national level team, and my coach was from Europe, and he would say, we need to be one. We need to know what each other is doing without talking. We need to be able to feel one another on the field. And I just was like, I have found my people. Like, this is so cool. And so most of the women on the team and my college years of playing were from Europe, and they had they kind of like would let me in on the ways that their coaches had taught them. And it was really about intuitive knowing and extending your energy into the ball and guiding it. And we would kind of do these, like our drills were more like geometric and angles. Whereas coming from my high school experience, it was like the plays and the strategy and the like, hiya, like getting just jazzed up and excited for the game. So that was kind of the beginning of my experience of working with energy. And then as I became a martial arts student, I came into I kind of like stumbled upon a dojo is a martial arts training hall, a martial arts school. I stumbled upon a martial arts school that was quite unique. And I say it was quite unique because it was non-competitive. I never was in any competitions. It was nature-based, so a lot of our training, 365 days a year, were outside. We had a dojo that had 180 acres, and it was in Maine. So we were in the Maine woods, and our training was in mud pits. We had like 4 different mud pits on the property. I know, I loved it. Like, the more dirty we got, the more I loved it. And in the water, on rivers, we would do techniques in the water. I remember as a white belt, the first level as a martial artist, I remember my first winter wilderness trip. I was in northern Maine in the Jackman region. It was called the Enchanted Forest for any Mainers or anyone that loves Maine. The Enchanted region has really potent energy. And I remember being, like, I didn't know what I had signed up for. I really didn't. And I show up for this intense experience, and I realized that it was mostly brown belts, which is the rank before black belt. And I kind of had a moment. At that point, I think I was 18, almost 19. I had a realization, like, I'm in over my head. Like, what am I doing here? Because I heard that we had a cabin, but when we got up there, there was no going inside the cabin. We were in the Maine woods. I don't even know what degree it was, but I do know that my hair was frozen solid, and I was told to just crack the ice out of it. And we started by, as a team, we were put into pods, and it was like, first thing, start shoveling and creating the mound of snow that's going to compact so we can dig it out and hollow it out and line it with pine boughs. And then our heat source was one another and these little tiny survival candles. And the candles just kind of glazed over the inside layer of ice. And I remember getting a lesson on the alchemy and the ability to heat myself from the inside out, and to let go of the illusions of the mind of the Western way of being and thinking that I needed some sort of heat source. And so that really began my experience. The intense martial arts that I was there for, I didn't quite get. I kept like waiting. I wanted to do the jumping flying side kicks. I wanted to do the spinning dragon tails. I was like, come on, like, when do we start weapons? And I was like, okay, today we're gonna do Tai Chi. Just like, what? Today we're gonna learn this hard style Qigong. Like, and here I am with all these people. I'm 41 now and a half. And I was with all these 40-year-olds, and I was like, not even 20. And I just felt like, how have I landed in this reality? All my friends are out at the parties, like going out, getting dressed up, and I just couldn't help myself. I had this itch. I wanted to learn more. I just had this curiosity because the people in their 40s were like adults, and they had like children and houses and careers, and they were so committed to this. So I felt like there's something I'm not quite getting, and I want to stick around until I figure out why they're all here. And so I'm laughing at my younger self because that curiosity lasted for 20 years. Not only did I get a very extensive training in Tai Chi and Qigong, even though I wasn't super interested at the time, I dove in and I started to learn about myself. I started to learn about my physical body. I remember being in classes about these hard style martial arts and learning about the fragility of the human body and the strength and the grit of the human spirit. And at the same time, being able to connect with a vulnerability of the spirit and a strength of the physical body. And so I was starting to feel into this ever-present yin yang. And there were a couple of the masters in the dojo that I just like looked up to. There were a couple of women that were, I want to say 10, 15 years older than me. And I just remember looking at them and being like, wow, I want what they've got. I don't know what, I can't put my finger on it, but I want what they have. And they would show up and they would come into the dojo and they would sit in meditation and they would just be so focused. But then after, they would be joyful and laughing and talking. And I was just like, how do they have that balance between focus and kind of seriousness and I want to say like an eliteness, and then also have this like feminine, playful sweetness and grace. So through the years of my personal training, I didn't feel that I was developing any of that. I felt very humble. I felt very much like the lowest rank, until all of a sudden in the dojo, the way that the rank is when you show up, the highest rank, the master or the person that's been appointed by the master, is teaching the class at the front, facing the group. And then there's like, almost if you imagine a snake, the highest rank is at the front, and then it winds down and you follow the rank. And basically, for the most part, rank is based on the amount of years you've been training. Every once in a while, there'll be someone that's just like hardcore and is just going to every class. That was definitely me. I was going to like 9 to 12 classes a week. Most people were going to 2 if they made it to their 2. And so I was the white in our school. It was Chinese based, so we had sashes or belts. Most people refer to it as belts, but we referred to them as sashes, and they were handmade by one of the masters that I adored. And all of a sudden I had this moment where I kind of like turned and looked behind me, and there was the big weaving of the snake behind me. And I realized like, whoa, I'm the highest rank. When did that happen? And I feel like that is the way of life. When we get focused, when we have a mission, when we get committed to a goal, sometimes it's like, nothing else matters, nothing else is visible. And it was that single pointed focus that I just dove in for years and years, until I was asked to start teaching. And I started teaching the children classes, and then I got to start teaching the teenagers, and then I started to teach the adults, and then I started teaching the black belts, and then I started writing the curriculum and developing the curriculum. And then I started being on the team that was really creating community, making sure that everyone in the community that wanted to have access to this ancient wisdom could. And so that civic duty became part of my journey. And the reason I speak to this part of my path is because when we step into learning this ancient wisdom, and we get a chance to tap into, I want to say like light codes that are thousands of years old. These are patterns, these are rhythms, these are cadences of specific movements corresponded and harmonized with breath that trigger or awaken, or the catalyst to awakening different parts of ourselves. And when the spiritual warriorship comes into play, I think of warrior being depicted in Western movies as this hi-ya, like kind of like kicking butt and I don't know, something that I wasn't experiencing. I found myself having the opportunity to step out of the boxes that I had been taught in traditional schooling. And I realized that the box that I was living in was made up of walls, of lines that were creating a separation and a fragmentation and preventing me from being able to access my own intrinsic ability to not only stand in my strength and in my full power, but to also stand in a position to access my own intrinsic ability to heal myself. And that was when I felt, when a couple years ago, in 2017, I chose to leave the dojo and I chose to open a school and began sharing my teachings in a new way, in a way that felt more in alignment with who I had become. And then in 2020, I realized that there's so many people that don't have access to this information, that maybe don't want to go and live in a snow shelter for a weekend or a week, maybe don't want to go to the dojo 9 times a week and become a black belt. And my intention in offering is to allow anyone that is interested to connect with this ancient wisdom an easy and accessible way to do so. And I feel that after my years of traditional training, of traditional experience, I'm in a position where I can offer this in a way that I hope that you feel comfortable asking questions, and all questions are beautiful. All inquiries, all curiosities. We each live in our own universe, and we create each other's realities. And when I first felt into spiritual warriorship, I felt like, okay, I'm learning weapons, I'm learning firearm, I'm learning, retention, and like how to, if someone were to pull a knife on me, I'd pull a gun on me, how am I going to take that away? And all of those skills were so important and so powerful for me. Being out in the middle of the night doing drills for hours and hours and hours, whether it was the middle of the winter or the middle of the summer, didn't matter, because life's conditions are ever changing. And no matter how uncomfortable life gets, I have the choice to always show up in kindness. I have the choice to always show up in a space of love. And spiritual warriorship and self-defense is about, first and foremost, defending myself against my thinking mind and potential negative patterns in the mind. I don't know if anyone else has ever experienced anything like that. Yeah. And as I was going through different phases of my life, I learned the low, the middle, the high block. And as a white sash, I wanted to get the technique just right and the stances just right. But then I found myself in moments where I had a boss that was really, I want to just say nasty, just not nice. And I would go outside, or I would move out of the space, and I would just get into this expression of creating these mudras, these circuits of energy through the blocks, and just find my return and find my center and really energetically establish my boundaries, my sacred boundaries, where it's just like, you know what? That person's unhappiness, that person's imbalance is not my problem, is not my responsibility. And so as I come into sharing the 8 treasures, I want to say that, yes, this is thousands of years old. This was developed by the 8 immortals that were in the Han Dynasty of China, which, don't worry about the thinking mind. We'll quench it plenty with the membership site. So just sit back and relax and enjoy just receiving essence. But these 8 immortals were looking to connect with the immortal practices. And what does that even mean? It's no different than today, where there is a fear of coming into dis-ease. And where does dis-ease begin? It begins in the mind. And when we come into a place of fear, we get all of our energy hijacked into the back of our body. And the first thing I would teach in a introduction class to see if someone wanted to be a student, I would teach them that as soon as something happens, a trauma, unexpected happening, the body has a chemical dump. And the only way that we can kind of counter that chemical dump, which is intended to keep us alive, quite frankly, right? The only way we can counter that intense response of the chemistry in the body is by connecting with our breath and reminding ourselves that we are safe, that we are in control, and that we have more power than we've been led to believe. Our mind has more power than I was taught in my school experience. And so when we get that fear, and especially when the messages of fear are all around us, all of our energy gets pulled into the back body, into our adrenals, into our kidneys, into our amygdala, our reptilian part of the brain. And we lose connection with the kindness, with the compassion, with the sweetness, with the care, with the love for one another. And the kidneys are where is where our water energy is. And so if I have that energy pulled into my kidneys and my heart starts pounding, guess what's happening? My fire and water energy in my body is going out of whack. And I may be evaporating the water, or I may be putting out the fire. It's going to be one or the other. It's going to go to an extreme. And life, our existence, is about having a healthy balance, the alchemy of fire and water creating steam in the body, which the Taoist masters refer to as Qi. And when we have that steam and we have that vitality pulsing through the body, then we're alive and we're vibrant and we're adding years to our life, quite literally. And that's what the immortals did. These 8 immortals studied nature. And so in the 8 treasures, there are 8 different sequences. Each treasure is targeting a different system of the body, the respiratory system, the immune system. We're going into really connecting the mind and the body and the bridge of the neck, awakening that, where we get a lot of tension when we have stress that restricts the flow of energy from moving between the mind and the body, the heart and the mind. And when we can create that nice balance, that dance between the energies of fire and water, of heaven and earth is the water, heaven is the fire. And when we can bring those in and we can start to feel that alchemy releasing any state of dis-ease and allowing us to come back into ease, it's that simple. Life becomes so much easier. What a gift, right? And so to access this ancient wisdom, the immortals would study nature, and Tai Chi is looking at the Tai mountain, the high peak of Tai. And they refer to the top of the mountain as the crown of the head. And like I was talking to you about Qi, that life force, we're pulsing that through the body. But like one of the movements is bringing the sea to the top of the mountain. It's bringing the water energy up the kidney meridian all the way up, letting it rise up to the top of the crown of the head, this 100 meeting point. And then from there, the crown of the head, we let the energy spout out and expand all around us, creating our energy field, our luminous field, or our warrior shield. So I remember as part of my black belt initiation was getting to lay on a bed of nails. I was so scared and so excited, and every emotion you can imagine. And learning the hard style Qigong to bring the Qi into my back to allow it to become impenetrable. And I had 2 of my spiritual sisters, beloved friends, people that I trained with for years and years. And when you're training in martial arts, it's life and death. And you really hope that your partner is on their A game and they're not zigging when they're supposed to zag because it doesn't feel good. It's just, it gets quite intense. But having this clear expression of, wow, my mind guided my energy into my back body to protect me from these nails. And not only that, not only did I get to lay on the bed of nails, I got to have 60 pounds of concrete placed on my chest and had a sledgehammer break that concrete on my chest. Because as soon as I laid on it, I saw the nod of the master, and then the black belt, higher rank than me, placed one block of concrete, 20 pounds. The nod of the master, the second, and another nod, and I'm kind of down there and I'm like, I have to stay focused. I've got to keep my breathing in flow, because if I freak out right now, I've got nails like literally in my back. And I say it with laughter because not only was it really intense, when I was finished, it wasn't only about having the concrete broken and my friends, my sisters, my amazing comrades remove that. I had a piece of board over my face so that the concrete didn't come up and hit me in the face. Not only did that get removed quickly, I was then hoisted up, and then there was an assessment, like a grid on my back, to see what channels are blocked. Where's the stagnation in my meridians? And I will say I was a good student. I had clear waters within, and I was clear, and I didn't have any punctures. And, right? I don't even know if my mom knows about this. It's probably best that she doesn't. She just, some things are best for moms not to know about. But then there was a part of me that was like, then I had like self-doubt, like maybe it's like just like maybe the nails are so close together it doesn't even count. Like maybe it's just, maybe now that I've done it, it's not such a big deal. And then a partner was asked, they were up next, and they did one block. And when they got up, there were some punctures. And I won't say there was a lot of blood, but it was just the redness. You know, when you get like a prick, there was just the piercing of the skin. And I sat there and I was like, okay, no, this is very real. You know, it's just like, this is very real. And I'm bringing it into the hard style of Qigong because that was so just like raw truth. There's undeniable truth. But when I have the ability to heal myself, have you ever been sick and then you get better and you kind of forgot you were ever sick? Just because you feel good, just like you've moved on. It's like, it's over. And it's not about the honey and, you know, the honey and lemon that you drank or the affection and the love of your animal or your beloved. It's not the extra rest that you took. It's like none of that stuff matters anymore because life is happening. So I say that because I think as human beings, it's so often that we can negate our superpowers, the magic of our healing that we all possess. I think it's really easy to dismiss it. And then when we come into a moment of vulnerability, of dis-ease, it's like, oh yeah, maybe I should like think about that healing stuff again. You know, it's like, so I will say, I think prevention is key. And the sequence of the 8 treasures is just that. They're simple movements that are mimicking nature and seeing us as a microcosm of the macrocosm, seeing us as a complete direct reflection of what's all around us, the oceans, the rivers, the mountains, the valleys, all of it. And when we look to the animals in nature and we witness how they care for one another, it's a teaching for us to learn how to unconditionally love one another without judgment, with a depth of love that has become rare. And I say that with a bit of sadness, with looking at the isolation that I see so often in people's lives. I see the boxes. I see those lines of separation. And I want to invite you to join me. I want to invite you to reconnect with me to this ancient wisdom that we all have the birthright to access. And yes, I have the title of master. Yes, I am a black belt. But above all of that, more than anything, I'm a human being. And I have the dragons on my arms to represent that I'm a keeper of this wisdom. And so if I get to be one of the keepers on this earth, I want to open the door. I want to invite you in, and I want to share this with all of you, because this is a time for us to awaken our innate healing. And it's a time that if you decide to connect with this, and you connect with it as much as you want, 5 minutes, 9 hours, whatever you want. I like to go a little extreme, but that's just me. Then I invite you to share it with the people in your life. My favorite comments are when people say, I did one of your series, or they were a student of mine in the dojo, and I'm bringing it into my workplace. We were shaking down the tree before the meeting today because everyone was so stressed out and freaked out because the kids are back at home, doing school online virtually. So we couldn't even get into strategy at work. So we started the meeting with shaking down the tree, and everybody loved it. And they don't even have to know. Sometimes when we label things, it almost like creates that separation. Like, well, I don't do Tai Chi, so I can't shake down the tree. Well, it's like, you've got a body, and we are all needing to shake it off sometimes. We're all needing to shake it off sometimes. So I will be bringing us into the foundations of kind of just opening and awakening the rivers within and connecting with a bit of the wisdom. And when we move into next week and we begin our Thursday nights, to me, what's most powerful about tonight is, I hope you're enjoying what I'm saying, but I really don't think it's about any of the words I'm speaking. It's about our connection to one another, because each one of you that showed up tonight, or anyone that's watching the recording, you have a innate draw to this wisdom. And I just want to say, listen to that. If you resonate with me, or you resonate with another teacher, or you resonate with your own teaching and the teachings of nature, whatever that is for you, like, open that door fully, like without hesitation, because each one of us that steps into the light and chooses kindness above all else, even when kindness, why is kindness why is there such a resistance? Is anyone else witnessing this? It's like, can we just smile? Can we just say, go right ahead? Can we see something that's so easy and so obvious and respond to it and do the kind thing? No, because we have a fear that's been instilled in us, and we get to change that pattern. And each one of you in the different parts of the world, wherever you are, because we get to dissolve the boundaries with our online magic. I mean, this is just incredible. We get to start to change the reality of our own universe, and then think of the ripple effect. Every person that's in your life, every person you connect with in your community, every time you are kind to one person, then they're inspired to be kind to another. And that is spiritual warriorship. That is mastery. That is truly being human. Human beings. Let's stop doing and let's be. Let's be our authentic selves without apology. Let's be kind. Let's be open to receiving the healing that's all around us. My mother is a doctor, and I was talking with her the other day, and we were talking about, I live in Costa Rica, and thank you, Jack. I'm so glad you're with us tonight. I can walk outside. I got a pretty severe burn a few months ago, and I walked outside and I took some aloe out of the yard and I put it on. I had a little tickle in my throat from some dusty roads. And I went outside to the lemon tree and I got a lemon, and I have the local honey from the friend down the road. And I made myself some honey and lemon, and my throat felt better. And I'm like, it's free. It's not free if you're in subarctic temperatures right now. You have to go to the organic market and get yourself some lemon, and I highly recommend it. But you know what I'm saying, right? There's that's like so obvious, and it's almost like we're overcomplicating things. Let's come back to the profound simplicity of what true health is, what true self-defense is, and what true mastery is. We're all human, and we all have so much power at our fingertips. And power is not the Marvel movies, which are entertaining. The power is in our kindness and in our energy. And I hope my enthusiasm, you're feeling it. I hope it touches you. I hope it inspires you. I hope it's a catalyst for you to step forward and say, yes, I'm spending $99 because I'm worth it. I'm doing 6 weeks. I'm going to have the recordings for as long as like internet is up, as long as like technology allows it. Like, give yourself that gift. And it's not just the movement. It's about this connection. Look at the screen. We are filled with bright lights. You're all shining. Your eyes are twinkling like stars. Your smile is glowing. Your heart is beating like this beautiful drum of this rhythm of life. And let's engage with that. So I'm going to bring it to some movement. I'm not going to keep us moving too long because I want to come back and offer time for Q&A, for comments. And before you, in our transitional moment, if you can just type in the chat where you are, where are you in the world? Have you ever experienced martial arts? Yes or no? So just put where you are. You can put your town and your state or your country, wherever you are. I'm in San Juanillo, Costa Rica, with my beloved, amazing husband, Ray. And we are so excited to share this. So awesome. I want everyone to see the web of light that we are creating tonight. Your presence is like a beacon, and we're connected by this luminous thread. And this web of light is what the masters talk about in the ancient text. So thank you for putting that in. And then just super simple, you can move your chair out of the way. All you need is an arm's length distance from side to side and front to back. And I'm going to bring you through some super simple movements that I'll be curious to hear what you feel after we move through them. Water, water, water. So important. Look at this, you guys. I'm so excited to see where you're from. I'm like, okay, I'm going to look at it after so that I can keep us moving. And I'm just going to give it, I'm going to pin myself so that you can see it from a distance. All right. Let's see. So if you're in New England, then you're from my home region. I'm a Mainer, and I'm proud of it. And I'm really happy to be in Costa Rica. Okay, so first things first, we start with a standing meditation. Take your time, there's no rush, you'll catch up with me. You're gonna root down through your feet, dial your palms forward, and lengthen up through the crown of your head. Here we align with the divine energies of heaven and earth. So just for a moment, take a peek down at your feet. Inhale, lift your toes, fan them out. Feel the instep rise. We're opening the kidney meridian, awakening the bubbling spring that's right on the inside of your big toe mound. And as you release your toes, just unlock your knees for a moment and dial your tailbone to the center of the earth. And then from here, imagine you have a silk thread at the top of your head at the crown and lengthen up through the crown of your head. And if you're laying down or sitting, just close your eyes and follow this as if it's a guided meditation. It's not necessary to do the standing practice if you're not up for it. Bring the tongue to your upper palate, allowing the governing meridian that runs up the back of the body over the crown and stops at the right above in the center of the upper of the mouth. with a conceptual meridian that starts here and runs down between the legs. So we're harmonizing the yin and yang main channels in the body, the feminine and masculine, the fire and the water. And with your tongue resting on your upper palate, soften your gaze or close your eyes and just take a moment to slow down your breath without strain, without any effort. Just take a moment to really follow that inhalation in through your nose and feel the release of any heavy energy as you sigh your breath out through your mouth. And then feel yourself come into this state of returning to the origin, to the universal pulse, the vibration of the cosmos, of the earth, and feel yourself as animated earth. Physical body is made up of the elements of the earth, and your spirit enlivens and animates and awakens this physical vessel. And take a nice deep breath in, let your arms float up, and then as you sigh it out, exhale, let your arms flow down. We're gonna start by ringing the temple bell. You're just gonna simply turn at the waist and let your arms swing, and I'm pivoting on one foot and then the other. Hands come into gentle fists, tapping in line with the navel in the front of the body and right by the kidneys and the adrenals in the back body. Let's let go of some of that fear. The H sound with each tap helps release any dredged up energy in the channels. Let the arms swing a little bit more freely. And as you ring the temple within, or you ring the temple, you're signaling to your spirit that you have self-respect and value. It's awakening your spirit, letting your light shine more brightly and allowing your full self to be expressed and felt. Bring that front hand up and a little higher right by your chest. Don't forget to smile. If you have any grief and sadness, the chest area may feel a little tender. That means we need to tap it a little bit more. So keep that tapping and then slowly bring the hands back down and slow down the turn of your hips until you come to stillness. And notice I'm not doing anything abruptly. I'm letting everything be in a flow. I want to allow a continuous flow of energy through the body so that I don't disrupt that flow and create stagnation within the channels that flow through my body. And the meridians, these channels that carry the energy through my body, also are the emotions and the thoughts. So everything riding these channels need them to be open and clear and not imprinted with old impressions of emotion, of experience. And now take your left hand into a fist. The flat part of the fist is going to come across. Tap up the side of your body, coming up into the armpit. Let's open, awaken the lymph, creating a drainage of any toxins coming back down. Tap right up the center. Give a couple extra taps, give a good and then tap down the inside of the arm and the outside of the arm. Now that we've opened and kind of awakened all of this, we want to wash it off. So take your hand and shake that off. And your right hand into a fist. Come to the other side, tap. H sounds, because with the breath, we allow the energy to move out of the body. So keep that nice rhythm of moving with breath down the inside. Oops, I got hooked. Down the inside. And up the outside. And then hand washes it. Fingertips to thumbs, bend at the wrist. I'm coming forward so that you see that. Here we actually create what they call, the Taoists refer to as the Big Dipper. So we're gonna have our hands like the Big Dipper, and the technique that the hands are in are called chicken beaks. So we're mimicking nature with the chicken beaks, and I'm doing this because I want you to feel this rotation in the forearms. Take that rotation to your lower back and in a circular manner. Give a good again, releasing any excess energy, any excess water and emotion that may be showing up for you of fear. We're going to transform that fear into caution and just simple awareness. Give a good and if your shoulders are tight, bend your knees and hinge forward a bit so it's easier to reach that. Yeah. Okay, hands back to fist to your glutes. Give a good tap in the buttocks. If you are like most Western people, there's a lot of sitting. And when we're sitting, we got a lot of energy just pooling up in this region and we want to disperse it. So now tap down the back of your legs. Keep the breath. Come to the inside of your legs, tap up. And this is one I wanted to bring in. We're gonna just unlock the knees and you're gonna see that I am just releasing and letting the arms stay like ropes. And I'm opening the femoral artery. I'm awakening the intersection within the hips. If you feel blocked in the mind, like writer's block or frustration, having a difficult time thinking or problem solving, this is a really nice go-to. 3, 2, and 1. Let your hands sweep out and up. Allow your hands to flow overhead. Turn your palms to the sky, prop the heavens. Here we open the stomach meridian. We allow for the digestion to become optimized. So gently tuck your chin, lengthen through the crown of the head. Feel the back of your neck nice and straight and long. Gently draw your fingers back a bit, stretching the skin on the palms. Press down like you're squishing your feet into the floor. Take a nice deep breath in. Excuse me. And as you exhale, turn your palms. In a slow motion, release of the breath as your hands slowly flow down the center line, guiding any excess energy out of the thinking mind. Returning this energy into your lower dantian to bolster your immune system. And then let your hands relax for a moment. Take a deep breath in. And as you sigh that out, feel your whole body respond. And I want to teach one of the postures tonight. So that was just warm-ups. I'm going to teach you one of the postures tonight. We're going to take the right hand back into the chicken beak, and we're going to place that at the base of the spine. What that's doing is it's holding the yang energy in the spine, the masculine energy, that directional energy, that get things done, that list-oriented mindset. We're going to hold that. We're just going to let that chill out. So holding the base of the spine. The other hand is going to be open, and the center of the palm is your Lao Gung point, and this is pericardium 8. And the reason I'm saying that is this is a part of, this point is connected to the muscle around the heart, and it's the guardian of the heart. So we're going to open that, and with your hand, you're going to soften your knees. You're going to take this. It's called the jade plate gathers the morning dew. You're going to cross the center line. And you're going to slow motion gather the morning dew with the palm of your hand. Any excess fire in the heart is getting this beautiful dew. And now press that hand high, the other hand low. And then bring the hands towards one another, bend the elbows, and then press again. With your left foot root down, left hand reaches up. And then one more time, soften. And press. Now, as your hands flow towards one another, we're going to do a kind of a fancy transition. The top hand floats and becomes a chicken beak at the base of the spine, right here. The other hand is facing up and ready. It's like, let me have a turn. So we're gonna take that jade plate, cross your center line. We're reweaving the right and left sides of the brain. Bring it all the way around. Follow, let your eyes follow that hand behind you. And now press and push. Soften the hands, let them face one another. And press and push. Soften, gathering the chi between your hands. One's facing earth, one's facing heaven. And press and push. Notice now the top hand's facing heaven, the bottom hand's facing earth. And as the hands come back towards one another, guide your right elbow to the right. Switch the hand that's on top. And now turn at the waist to move the arms. Guide the chi ball over to your left, mirroring you. And switch. And now see if it feels good to step your feet a little further apart and sway as you turn the hips. And we're coming into wave hands like clouds to blend the fire and water within the heart space. And see if you can try a little softer, let go of perfection. It doesn't exist. Let your spine be nice and supple. And feel into the space between your hands. We could do this probably for the rest of the night and we'd all be just fine with it. I love wave hands like clouds. It's a nice standing, moving meditation. And after you make your way to the left, your second side, as you turn and come through center, pause for a moment and condense this chi ball. Even if you don't feel anything, just pretend, don't worry about it. And then you're gonna gather this beautiful healing energy and you're gonna inhale like you're washing your face. Wash your hands without touching your face. Let your hands just hover a couple inches in front, up and over. Bathe yourself in this healing energy. Let your hands flow down. And allow your hands to rest by your side. Eyes soften or close, tongue resting on your upper palate. Gentle smile at the corners of your mouth and your eyes. And take this moment to come within, follow that next inhalation, ride it, and arrive within your inner landscape, feeling the power that resides within you, the grace, the beauty. And then take a moment to just ask your physical body, this beautiful, beautiful vessel, if there's anything more that it would like you to do, any guidance it has for you. And then as you inhale, let your wrists lead. Exhale, let your wrists lead, and then take it into whatever your body asked for. So maybe your body's asking for a little extra stretch. Maybe your body's asking for a nice embrace. Whatever that is, honor that, and then slowly you can make your way back forward where we'll continue with the Q&A. Okay, I'm gonna remove my spotlight and let's see. Can I see either a show of hands or feel free to type in a Y if you feel a shift in your inner landscape? Anyone? You guys feeling anything? Okay. And thank you for sharing in the comments. More relaxed, awesome. Anything else that you're feeling more relaxed? Was any of that familiar? Some of that, I'm guessing some of it's familiar, maybe some of it was new. Okay, good, good. Not good that you were super tense, Bridget, but good that you're not anymore. And I'm only laughing because I can relate. A little lighter. Oh, good. Oh, I'm so happy to hear this. Uh, yes. So one of the things that is so powerful, and I'm really glad, I don't know where that just went. Sue. So a bunch of messages came through. Um, when when life is happening, energy, our endocrine system is excreting the energy, the chemistry in our body, and it's like we get these like chemical cocktails that we're walking around with, right? And we all have our aura, and it's like a combination of like, maybe it's joy and anxiety. I don't know. Like, what's your chemical cocktail? Whatever that is, whatever you're predisposed to, we want to give our body an opportunity to release it. And when we come into Tai Chi, oftentimes, like I've had so many days in the dojo where I'd be doing something and just tears, or I'd start laughing, or I'd feel the urge, oh my gosh, I was that student, like especially if I got paired with a certain friend of mine. We got like, they stopped pairing us together because then we start talking. Like all this energy would come up and then we was like, and you're not supposed to be talking in the dojo, like not cool. But we couldn't help it because all this energy was coming up. And so energy gets expressed in different ways. And so if you feel a wave of sadness come through, thank you for sharing that, Sue. Yawning, Amanda and John, totally, that release of energy. If you feel it come through, notice if your pattern is to hold it back, because a lot of us have been taught to like not let it come up. Like, don't admit that you're human. Like, don't have an emotion. It's like, I'm laughing. Feel it, honor it, let it go. Let it go. I didn't do shaking down the tree. I have so many, we call like energy remedies, but shake it off, like shake it off. And if you're shaking it off, shake it to the right, shake it to the left. Don't take yourself so seriously. And then clap it, wash it. Whew. Got a response from the door for that one. Our energy does travel. So let that go. So I said Q&A and I keep talking. So I'm going to just smile at myself for that. Are there any, and I'm seeing a bunch of things coming through, but are there any questions? Feel free to put them in the chat box just so that it's, we don't end up talking over each other. Is there anything that's bubbling up for you that you're like, I really want to sign up for this series, but I just don't know, or I just want this clarified. I want to make sure, anything. Now my energy's flowing, so I'm like, I'm consciously slowing down to give space. Okay, working evenings for the next 3 months. How can you do this? You can register, and when you register, you get access to the online portal. And the online portal, thank you to Amanda Goddess Dixie, who will be making sure that the recordings of each class are put up in the membership site. And I've already started in the membership site putting up a bunch of resources, kind of nerding out on each of the treasures and what systems it's targeting, what points it's targeting. So if you want more of that, you're going to get that. But the hour-long classes will all be in the portal and you can access them anytime. And you can type in, like, say you missed the class and you watch it and everyone else got a chance to ask questions, but you weren't live with me, you can put right in the membership site, you can add questions, you can add comments, and then each of us can kind of respond. So if someone was in the class and wants to say, oh, Nina mentioned that, or this, I felt it this way. So it allows for the community to connect, which I think is really, to me, like that's the special sauce. That's the real magic. I have a 6-year-old. I don't know how and what this do about his energy. He doesn't know how to channel all his energy. Please do it with him. I taught at 5 school districts in Southern and Mid-Coast Maine, and the faculty and staff ended up asking for programs because the students would start meditating in class. I'm not even kidding. They love it. I say, if you treat your 6-year-old like an adult when it's class time, You'll be blown away. I have taught thousands and thousands of children ages 18 months up to 18. And my 18-month students were amazing. And I know that's like, how is that possible? Because human beings are magic. Like, guys, we limit ourselves. We're limiting our children. Like, seriously, kids love this. How do these teachings differ from the Tai Chi in the Jaguar path? Well, we're in the Jaguar path, so it doesn't, because I'm the one bringing the Jaguar path Tai Chi and with my husband, Ray. This is a unique sequence. So this particular sequence, I will hold to the tradition of the 8 treasures. So I'm going to give it to you as authentically and traditionally as it was shared with me. But because I am Mrs. Jaguar, I will be sharing the essence of the principles and the teachings of the Keros as well, because the Keros, and I say that for those of you that know our school of shamanism, we have the Keros, actually, we have the elders coming here for a retreat in February. They talk about the Apus, the holy mountains, and they talk about the connection to nature. And I'll tell you, after becoming a master of the martial arts and then being intimately connected with the elders of Peru, the shamans, the medicine men and women, they're absolutely talking about the same things. And so we get to dissolve those lines and dissolve those barriers. What's next? Recording you. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sunny. Thank you, Jane. I love you. I love you guys. Thank you, Jessica. Absolutely. Get your little one involved. Probably will be teaching all of us before we know it. You can call me Miss Jaguar, Bridget. All right, Kyle, you mentioned creating the shield from the top of your head. Does Tai Chi help discern one's own energies from what one is picking up from others? Awesome question, Kyle. Awesome, awesome, awesome. If you don't have an awareness of your own energy, how in the world are you going to know what's yours and what's not yours? So Tai Chi is like that constant. So if you're doing Tai Chi, I don't want to be extreme, but just for the sake of this example, if you're doing Tai Chi every day, you're going to notice if there's something that's out of alignment, because you're going to know you're going to have the quality of energy that you start to notice with your connection to the sequence. And when that changes, you're going to pick up on it before it manifests in the physical form of dis-ease or sickness or anxiety attack or explosive expression of emotion that you're not so proud of. So when you start to connect with your own energy daily or weekly or whatever your life allows, then it's very clear, it's very apparent what's yours and what's not. And then you have that energetic shield to really kind of buffer yourself from being influenced by someone else's maybe bad attitude or not so nice comment. Right? Great question. I'm so glad that you're going to sign up, Denise. I hope you all sign up. I'll be honest, it will make my day. Please sign up. Do it for yourself because you're worth it. If you had fun tonight, do it for me. I will be so happy. Every registration that comes through, Ray sees me do the happy dance. I think Amanda's seen a few of them. Bridget, you've definitely seen the happy dance. So yes, I am so glad you're signing up. Thank you for sharing the link, and awesome masters, no problem at all. Thank you for joining me. And yes, I will be continuing to share. I'm not sure who's honking, but I'll take it as a celebration. Let me see if I can. I'm just gonna mute the iPhone that's honking. And I love you. I have a sneaking suspicion I know who that is, and I love you so much. All right, I think I answered all the questions. It's a happy dance honking. Oh, thank you, Carol. That's so sweet. Thank you. And Lex, thank you as well. All of you, thank you for joining me tonight. I feel my heart just like overflowing with your light and your love and your presence. And just remember, you have more power to transform the energy within you and all around you more than we have been led to believe. So don't hold back. The mind has the ability to change reality. So if you're in a moment of dis-ease, in a moment of challenge, give yourself permission to step forward and make a change. And I'm just going to keep telling you guys I love you, but I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you rest. Enjoy the rest of your night. Before we go, if you're as jazzed up as I am, just take a moment and inhale your arms out and create this big, like you're holding a big beach ball. Imagine like you've got a little electricity connecting each finger. Take a deep breath in, swell the arms, feel your heart space swell. And then as you exhale, let that soften, elbow soft. And now inhale, wash your hands up. Exhale, wash your hands over and down. We're just going to guide any excess enthusiasm, any excess energy, and just allow that to be guided back into your energy storehouse, your lower dantian. It's 2 inches below your navel. With so much love, so much light. Mwah, I love you all. Enjoy the rest of your night. And I hope to see you next Thursday for the 8 treasures. Bye.